Alex, congratulations on your win. What is the key for your rhythm and consistency? And I would like to know if you have a ritual or a specific preparation before you go on court.
I would say that anything is possible and, to dream big. I think me as a person, I'm very ambitious. And although there was no one.
Tears in Dubai, Alex Eala's act of pure kindness that stopped the world and left an entire nation sobbing. She came to Dubai to win tennis matches. She left having won something far more powerful, the heart of the entire world. Welcome back to Court Vision Plus, the channel that goes beyond the scoreboard and finds the stories that truly matter. Today, we are telling you about a moment so raw, so human, so completely unexpected that it has taken over every corner of the internet and had millions of people reaching for a box of tissues. This is the story of Alexandra Eala, the Philippines' most beloved sporting daughter, the act of grace that stopped a tournament in its tracks, and the reason the whole world is now calling her the Queen of Kindness. But before we get to that extraordinary moment, let us set the scene, because context is everything. You cannot understand the weight of what happened in Dubai without first understanding the weight that Alexandra Eala was already carrying on those 20-year-old shoulders. The 2026 Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships at the iconic Aviation Club Tennis Center is one of the most prestigious WTA 1000 events on the calendar. The finest players on the planet descend on the UAE, where the desert sun is ruthless and the competition is even more so. In any other year, a young Filipino player ranked outside the top 40 would be a footnote. A nice story. A player to watch. But this was not any other year. This was Alex Eala's year. And Dubai was not ready for what she was about to bring. The Filipino community in the United Arab Emirates turned out in a manner that defied belief. Thousands of overseas Filipino workers, expatriates, and passionate supporters flooded center court night after night. Flags of the Philippines were draped across the stands. Chants of Laban Alex. Fight, Alex. Echoed off the metal rafters and out into the warm desert night. It was electric. It was overwhelming. It was home court advantage 4,000 miles from home. And in that extraordinary atmosphere, Eala was doing something extraordinary on the court. She had already dispatched American qualifier Hailey Baptiste in her opening round, winning the first set 6-4 before Baptiste was forced to retire due to abdominal pain. That set the stage for what would become one of the most talked about matches in Philippine sporting history. In the second round, Eala drew the 6th seed, Jasmine Paolini of Italy. Not just any Paolini. We are talking about the world number 8. The reigning Dubai champion. A player who had reached a career-high ranking of world number 3. A 2-time Grand Slam finalist. A 2024 Olympic doubles gold medalist. By any measure, it was a match that Eala, ranked world number 47 at the time, was not supposed to win. She won it anyway. She won it with the kind of performance that makes a nation hold its breath and then scream as one. She destroyed Paolini in the first set 6-1, barely giving her Italian opponent a sniff. When the second set turned into a war, with Paolini fighting back from the brink, Eala dug deeper than she had ever dug before. She missed 3 match points. She was broken serving for the match. The crowd lived and died with every single point. And then, in the tiebreak, she was staring down a deficit, the crowd on their feet, noise filling every cubic inch of that stadium. She whispered to herself, by her own admission, "This stadium is full of Filipinos. How many of you are praying for me?" And she won the tiebreak. She won the match. She collapsed to her knees, tears streaming down her face, one fist pumping toward the sky as 5,000 Filipinos erupted around her. It was her 3rd career top 10 victory. It made her the youngest Asian woman to record multiple top 10 wins at 2 or more WTA 1000 events, surpassing the great Naomi Osaka in doing so. She became the first Filipino ever to reach the round of 16 in Dubai since the tournament began back in 2001. Her world ranking surged to a projected career high of number 38 in the live standings. The records were falling like dominoes. The milestone ticker was running out of space. But none of that, not a single ranking point, not a single record, not a single milestone, would come close to defining what happened next. Because the match that captured the world's attention was not the one against Paulini. The moment that made the whole planet stop scrolling, put down their phones, and weep, came in the round of 16. And it had nothing to do with the scoreline. The atmosphere inside the Aviation Club Tennis Center for Eala's third-round match was incendiary. She was playing Romanian veteran Sorana Cersti, a battle-hardened professional who had beaten the 10th seed Linda Noskova to reach the last 16. This was not a gimme. This was not a friendly stepping stone. Cersti had beaten Eala in their only previous meeting, in Madrid in 2024, in a bruising 3-set encounter. The score in Dubai was tight. The tension was strangling. Every rally felt like a tug-of-war between two competitors who refused to yield. Eala was a vision of focus, a player locked into a zone that only elite athletes can access. Her eyes were tracking the ball with laser precision. Her feet were dancing along the baseline, finding angles, creating openings, absorbing pressure, and converting it into explosive winners. The crowd was with her. Every point won was met with a wall of noise. Every point lost was met with a collective groan. Then came a moment that nobody in that stadium, watching at home on television, or scrolling through social media, will ever forget for as long as they live. It was a routine moment between points, the kind of instinctive, almost unconscious action that happens dozens of times during a match. Frustrated by a preceding exchange, or simply reacting without thought in the heated fog of intense competition, Eala struck the ball with sharp, vicious force. These things happen in tennis. They happen to promise, and something that looked, to everyone watching, unmistakably like love. The hug of an older sister. The hug of someone who cared about this child more, in that moment, than she cared about anything else happening in that stadium. Witnesses and courtside journalists later reported that she was whispering to him, her voice too low to be picked up by the microphones but her intentions completely legible. "I'm so sorry," she was heard saying. "Are you okay?" "I'm so sorry." She gently reached for his hands, carefully moving them away from his face so she could see the injury for herself. And in the gesture that broke the internet, she leaned in and gently kissed his forehead. A kiss of pure comfort. A kiss that said, "I see you. I am sorry. You matter more than this match." She whispered something else then. Something that nobody has been able to fully make out on the recordings. But whatever it was, it worked a kind of magic that no grand statement ever could. The boy's crying slowed. He blinked. He looked up at this young woman kneeling before him, this person who had just struck him with a tennis ball and who was now looking at him with genuine anguish and tenderness in her eyes. And through the tears and the pain, a small, shy, completely real smile broke across his face. The dam broke. The arena, which had been holding its collective breath in stunned silence, erupted in a standing ovation the likes of which most people in that building had never heard for a tennis match. 5,000 people on their feet, clapping, cheering, some of them crying. Not for a winner. Not for a trophy. For a human being choosing grace. Even Sarana Sursti, standing at the other end of the court, was applauding. In one of the most beautiful unrehearsed images of the sporting year, two competitors paused their battle to honor something that transcended competition entirely. Eala made sure the boy was attended to by officials, escorted off the court with water and an ice pack, and she kept her eyes on him until he disappeared safely into the tunnel. Then she turned around, walked back to the baseline, picked up her racket, and did something that speaks to the remarkable mental and emotional architecture of this young athlete. She played tennis. And she played well. Because she is that kind of competitor. The kind who can absorb the full spectrum of human emotion and still find a way to compete. But the story, magnificently, did not end there. After the match, after the press obligations and the cool-down and the long process of returning from the stratosphere of elite competition to normal human consciousness, Alexandra Eala did something that separated this story from being merely touching and elevated it to the realm of truly extraordinary. She sought the boy out. She personally went to find him. Not a manager. Not a PR representative. Not a signed photograph delivered via a tournament official. She went herself, to the Ball Kids area, to find this child and to make sure he knew that what happened on that court was not the end of the story. Multiple reports indicate that she brought him a gift, a personally signed piece of her match equipment and a handwritten note, and that they sat together, talked, and laughed. She treated him not as a victim of an accident but as a human being worthy of her time, her presence, and her friendship. The internet, naturally, went absolutely thermonuclear. The footage of the incident, the strike, the sprint, the kneel, the hug, the forehead kiss, spread across TikTok, Instagram, and X with a velocity that only the most deeply resonant content achieves. Within hours, it had been viewed tens of millions of times. Comments poured in from every time zone, every language, every corner of the globe. The phrase "Queen of Kindness" began trending in the Philippines, then across Southeast Asia, then worldwide. Sports writers who cover tennis for a living said they had never seen anything quite like it. Mental health advocates shared the footage as an example of emotional intelligence in action. Parents showed their children the video. One comment, sitting at the top of millions of feeds with hundreds of thousands of likes, reads simply, "This is what a champion really looks like." Another said, "I've been following women's tennis for 15 years and I have never cried watching a match before today." A third, "She didn't think about disqualification. She didn't think about her ranking or the match or the cameras. She just saw a hurt child and ran to him." That is a person. The comparisons to tennis legends came immediately and inevitably. People remembered the moments when Rafael Nadal, Eala's mentor at the academy where she trained in Mallorca, had paused to check on Ball Kids after accidental contact. People remembered the grace of Roger Federer in difficult moments. People remembered acts of sportsmanship that have become part of the folklore of the game. But something about Eala's response felt different to the millions who watched it. It felt younger. more instinctive, less performed. It felt like something she could not have planned or rehearsed because it came from somewhere too deep for planning to reach. It also felt, to Filipino fans watching around the world, profoundly and specifically Filipino. There is a concept in Filipino culture called malasakit, a word that has no direct translation in English but captures the idea of deep, genuine care and concern for the welfare of others. It is not sympathy from a distance. It is not performative kindness. It is the impulse to physically, practically, immediately be there for another person. It is the thing that makes Filipino communities among the most tightly knit and mutually supportive on earth. And in that moment on the court in Dubai, Alexandra Eala showed malasakit to the whole world. She didn't need to say the word. Watching the footage in their dormitories and break rooms and crying openly. Parents wrote about showing it to their children and using it as a teaching moment about what it looks like to truly take responsibility for a mistake. Young tennis players wrote about wanting to be like her, not because of her forehand or her ranking, but because of who she is when things go wrong. Because that is the thing about this moment that elevates it above viral content into something with genuine, lasting resonance. It was not what happened when everything was going right. It was what happened when something went terribly, unexpectedly wrong. And it was the answer to a question that we are all, consciously or not, asking about the people we admire. What are you like in the hard moment? What do you do when the accident happens and the cameras catch you and the easiest thing in the world would be to minimize, deflect, and move on? Alexandra Eala answered that question in real time, in front of the world, without hesitation and without artifice. She ran. She knelt. She held. She kissed. She stayed. And then, when it was all over, she went back and found him again, because once was not enough. This is the architecture of a champion that goes beyond sport. Sport can give you the tools, the discipline, the resilience, the competitive fire, the ability to perform under pressure. But character, the real stuff, the thing that endures beyond any ranking or trophy or record, that comes from somewhere else. It comes from upbringing, from values, from the quiet work of becoming a person worth admiring. Alexandra Eala, the girl from Manila who trained at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, who climbed from junior sensation to senior giant killer, who stunned Iga Swiatek and Madison Keys in Miami and now Jasmine Paolini in Dubai, who became the highest-ranked Filipino woman in tennis history, this person showed us, in 2 minutes on a hard court in the desert, more about who she truly is than any match result ever could. As the 2026 Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships continues and Eala pushes deeper into the draw, chasing what would be her first WTA 1000 quarterfinal and the continued ascent of a career that already feels historic, the whole world is watching. Not just to see if she wins, but because the world has decided that it is invested in this person, in her journey, in what she does next, on and off the court. Because she has given us something rare and precious in modern sport, a reason to root for someone that goes beyond national loyalty or competitive excitement. She has given us a reason to care. The desert heat of Dubai is unforgiving. But inside that arena, on that night, in that moment, it felt like the whole world got a little warmer. And it was because a 20-year-old from the Philippines decided, in a fraction of a second, to choose kindness over caution, humanity over score, and love over everything else. That is Alexandra Eala. That is your people's champion. And Court Vision Plus is so proud to tell her story. Court Vision family, we want to hear from you. Now, Court Vision family, we are turning it over to you, because this is not a monologue, this is a conversation, and your voice is the most important one in this room. Was this the most touching moment you have ever witnessed in professional tennis? Is there another act of sportsmanship that moved you the way this one did? Has Alexandra Eala officially become your favorite player on tour? Or were you already a believer, long before Dubai? Let us know everything in the comments section below. We read every single one, and your thoughts genuinely shape the content we create for this channel. If this story moved you, if it gave you goosebumps, if it made you tear up, if it restored even a small piece of your faith in athletes as human beings, then please, take 1 second right now and smash that like button. It sounds like a small thing, but it is how this channel grows, how we reach more people, and how stories like this one find the audiences they deserve. One tap from you makes a genuine difference, and we are grateful for every single one. Subscribe to Court Vision Plus if you have not already done so, and please, hit that notification bell so that you are the first to know every time we drop a new story. We are your destination for the moments that matter, the drama, the records, the human stories, the things that remind you why sport touches something in us that nothing else can reach. We will be tracking Eala's continued run in Dubai and bringing you every development as it happens, so you do not want to miss a single update. Share this video with someone who needs to see it today. We all know someone who could use a reminder that kindness is not weakness, that accountability is not failure, that the greatest champions are measured not by their wins, but by who they choose to be in the moments that truly count. Alexandra Eala has given us that reminder. The least we can do is pass it on. Until next time, keep your vision clear and your heart wide open. Peace. Court Vision Plus.
Kamusta mga kapong Pinoy? Surprise! Excited na akong imbitahin kayong lahat na manood sa mga laban ko sa Mubadala Abu Dhabi Open mula ng January 3. Super happy with the game, how I played. I think she was a tough opponent and yeah, tough conditions out there, very hot, but I'm just very happy with the win and